Hello everyone, I want to welcome you back to Face the Black Nation channel, coming back at you with another timely video. So with this video, I want to speak upon Ciara. Now, we all seen the Oscar, well, I didn't see it, but the vast majority of people saw the Vanity Fair Oscars that took place on Sunday. Well, one of the most noticeable individual who made a statement for herself is Ciara. So as you can see in this photo screen, as well as the thumbnail, you see Ciara with her husband Russell, and Ciara is practically nude. She actually shows her breasts, even though she has the areolas covered up. But as you can see in the thumbprint, she went on ahead and showed her rear, showing everything. Now, she practically came out to this event with no clothes on. Now, I remember posting on a comment on Facebook, and I said that this 304 Stragg does not have any honor for her husband. And like someone has replied back to me saying that she has to have honor herself, which is true. Because see, the word woman, if you want to be biblical about it, means helper and complimenter. She's supposed to compliment her man. As we can see in the photo, she is not complimenting her man. She is bringing dishonor to her husband. And I'm going to tell you why. A woman is supposed to be discreet. There is, in the scriptures, it does talk about having a virtuous woman, and the way how she dresses is also part of her being virtuous. And it also talks about having the spirit of Jezebel. Jezebel is the one who would go out here and she would do things with various partners. She will gossip in the congregation. She is not a good example for setting for the younger woman in the congregation. She basically is a busybody. She is always in someone's business, and she does not have the respect for the sanctity of marriage. So we have a lot of Jezebels running around these streets out here, and Ciara is one of them. Now, we all know that Ciara had a child out of wedlock with Future. So for some odd reason, even though she knew that Future had other children, previous children, but for some reason she thought that if she had a child with him and he was engaged to her, that he would marry her. Now, see, Ciara has always made it known that she liked dope boys. And she even made a song talking about she can't leave dope boys alone. And this is when she had 50 Cent in her video, because if I'm not mistaken, they were talking at that time. So she always had a favorite for the bad boys, because that is what she is. She's a bad girl. So, and when I say a bad girl, I'm meaning her demeanor, her attitude, and the way how she views herself. Because what self-respecting woman is going to come outside and actually walk around in the nude? What self-respecting woman is going to get herself pregnant by a man who have previous children that he's not even in their lives? Why would you actually think that you, for some reason, if you have his child, you are going to change him and all of a sudden he's going to want to be with you and to marry you versus being with those other women? Now, see, the reason why people are calling her husband a simp is because he went after a single mother who used to date bad boys, the ones who were no good, the ones who were up to trouble, the ones who are what they call thugs in the street. So that is what I'm talking about when I'm saying bad boys. You know, they actually have no concern for the community. They actually just have a lot of children out of wedlock. I did a video about a man who has 7 children with 7 different women. So those are the bad boys that I am referencing. So Russell, he decided to take it upon himself and to marry a 304 Stragg, who belongs out here in these streets, and got her pregnant and everything. And I do hope that he has a prenup, but knowing him, he probably doesn't have a prenup. And this man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if I am not mistaken. But if for some reason it's like, as people are bringing out, that he hasn't been on his best game ever since he got with Ciara. You see, Ciara is what you call a succubus. She drains the life. A succubus is a demon woman from hell. See, a succubus will drain the life out of you over a course of period of time. So over a course of period of time, Russell, he has not been at the top of his game ever since he got with her, because he knows that he is dealing, well, he doesn't know that he is dealing with a succubus. See, he thought that he was marrying a virtuous woman, but there are countless videos of Ciara. She over here twerking on cars. She over here showing her behind. She is over here doing all type of things that a Stragg would do in the hood. A Stragg is someone who she is a Jezebel spirit. She is a 304. She takes part of the destruction of the black community, and she does not have any respect for herself. And she does not have respect for the black men, and she does not care about the children. So she definitely has that street mentality that makes her belong in the streets. You see, so Ciara is a female that our young girls should not be looking up to. Now you're going to sit up and say, well, little girls shouldn't be looking up to these celebrities in the first place. That is correct. But say if that child is over a friend's house and that friend, the mother, is playing Ciara music, and she's putting Ciara's videos on television, and that girl is watching it, that's how she is going to get easily influenced. And not only just that, if she's seeing girls in the neighborhood, all they're doing is twerking their behinds, then that is what she's going to grow up thinking that it is okay. Now, what if she is watching her own mother twerking her behind? She's going to think that that is okay. There's a video out here that I saw recently of a young toddler. She looked no more than 2 or 3 years old, and she was trying to poke her butt out, trying to dance, and the father was standing there looking at her. She quickly stopped what she was doing, but the mother was recording and she was laughing at it. So the mother was thinking that it is okay for her to see her daughter have her booty up in the air with her hands on her hip trying to twerk. And the father went over there to chastise her, to let her know that that is not okay. But see, this is the spirit of Jezebel is all around us, no matter where you go. But then when you try to tell black women about their spirit, trying to let them know that this is the spirit that you don't want to have because it's very destructive, then they want to sit up and say that you're bashing all black women. How can I be bashing black women and I'm not going upside your head? That's bashing someone. It's when they go upside you. No one is doing that. You mean to tell me that what I'm doing is critiquing you, trying to let you know that what you're doing is wrong. And that is something that black women don't like. Black women don't like to be critiqued. Black women don't like to be held accountable for their actions. Black women do not like to have their feet held to the fire. So when you tell black women and let black women know what they are doing is wrong and very destructive to the black community, then they all want to gain up on you. And then you have black men like Russell who are simps, want to sit up and say, oh, you must hate black men, or your mama is black, your sister is black. The man is not trying to date his mama, is not trying to date his sister. There's nothing wrong with critiquing black women. So because see, right now you have black women who are literally saying that there is nothing wrong with what Ciara has on. And the reason why they're saying there's nothing wrong with what Ciara has on is because they are a 304 Stragg as well. They are a Jezebel as well in the black community. And we all know that they themselves don't know how to behave and know how to act like a woman. Now see, black women like to objectify themselves, but then when they want to get mad when a man does view them as an object. You see, if you don't want a man to view you as a sexual object, then stop behaving in such a manner where he is going to sit up and to say that you're nothing but a woman that I should just have sexual relations with and nothing more. I'm not even going to bother trying to get into a committed relationship with you with the thought of having marriage in view, because you over here showing everything. So you see, but see, with Ciara, she is married. The only man that should be seeing her breast, should be seeing her nude behind, the whole 9 yards, is her husband. No other man should be seeing that. No other woman wants to see that. No other man should be seeing that. Only her husband. That is something that you wear around the house, in your bedroom with your husband, whenever the both of y'all want to do your foreplay, whatever the case may be that y'all do, but in the privacy of your own home. That is exactly what you do. Ciara has herself a daughter, if I am not mistaken. I seen a picture of her with a young girl and 2 boys. So Ciara has a daughter. So for her to be dressing like this, she's letting her daughter know that it is okay to be a 304 Stragg, that is not the example that she should be setting for her little girl. This is the reason why you have little girls out here being fast in these streets, because they mama is no good and they mama is fast. They mama is a Jezebel. Their mother is a Jezebel. So these girls, these little daughters, they have such a horrible example of a mother to look up to. And this is the reason why the black community cannot move forward, cannot advance, because number one, we have too many black females out here that think that they are independent and that think that they can do things by themselves, who think that they are strong. And you also have them out here behaving in a Jezebel like spirit. And then you have niggas out here that wants to be like, I don't care about me having multiple kids. I don't want to have those kids, and she knew I didn't want those kids, so I'm not going to be taking care of them. The black community is screwed up in the head, and I have talked about this before in my previous video as to how it became that way. When you had the CIA, the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, who was asked what is the greatest threat to the United States of America, and he said black unity. And then in the 1970s, you had Gloria Steinem, who was a CIA operative, who came out with her anti-black hatred towards black men. And then you have the Planned Parenthood that came out first, when you had Planned Parenthood with the whole thoughts with Margaret, with the whole thought of the Black Project, which is to exterminate the black race. That's what she said in one of her letters that she sent out. She wanted to exterminate the black race. And then you have black women over here aborting over 19 million, which probably is in the 80 millions right now, since 1973. So we see the timeline of the destruction of the black community. Billions of dollars has been put into dividing the black community. And then you have this so-called black girls magic. What about black boys magic? So you want to tell me that you want to ignore the black boys and the black men in the black community? See, we have all of this type of divisiveness that is going on in our black community, which is the reason why we cannot advance. But then when you have black women such as myself who speak out against the issues and the things, the wrongdoings that black woman is doing, then I get called to pick me, or when I'm on other social platforms, I'm being told that I am a bitter black man, which is crazy because I'm over here speaking the truth about black women. Now, see, going back to Ciara, she have tried to make a song talking about being independent and that you don't need a man, but yet she's going home to her husband. But see, Ciara is just setting herself up to shop for another dude who is just like Future. Ciara is just setting herself up so that she could be able to get Russell's money. She's trying to, because she's in the state of California. And if you with someone for 10 years, over 10 years, then you are guaranteed half of their money. You're guaranteed half of that man's money. That is what she is hanging on for. I truly believe that is the reason why she is hanging on, so that she could take half of his money and get child support as well as alimony. That is what I truly believe that this woman is doing. That is why she is over here doing all this twerking. That is why she over here making sex music. That is why she is over here showing her body, because she wants the next bidder, the next higher bidder to come and to pick her up. But she wants him to be like Future or like the old 50 Cent. That is what she wants. She wants herself a thugged out man. But yes, she instead of her appreciating the good black man that she has, because she is trying her best to make him turn into a thug. Remember, she had him in braids and in baggy clothes and stuff like that. That is really what she wants. That is the reason why people was going after Ciara, because Ciara was so used to dating the bad boys, just like what I had just described not too long ago. She wanted herself a bad boy, and she's setting herself up, well, not setting, but selling herself to another bad boy. She first want to get Russell's money. She first want to get his money, and then she wants to go ahead and just say, okay, now that I got your money, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to date myself a thug. And then she's going to have that thug to be in her children's life, which is not going to be a great example for her and her children. See, her sons has a great role model of a man, but see, the daughter does not have a great role model of a woman. Because a woman is supposed to be dignified. A woman is supposed to be virtuous. A woman is supposed to be nurturing. A woman is supposed to be caring. A woman is supposed to be kind. She is supposed to be all of those things. She's supposed to be loving. She is supposed to be all of those things. But we see Ciara, she is not doing any of those things, because if she was, she would not be sitting up here looking like a woman of the night. A high class woman of the night. She would not be looking like that, dressing like that. She should be wearing clothes that's supposed to dignify her. That's supposed to say that I belong to something, that I am a married woman. She's supposed to be wearing something that is to cover up her items that another man should not be seeing. But see, here's the thing. See, most men, they respect another man's marriage. Most men, they will not try to go after that man's wife or his girlfriend, because they respect that. But for some odd reason, women, they don't have that respect. They would try to go after a woman's husband. They would try to go after a woman's boyfriend. They had no problem with being a side chick. They have no problem at all with being a side chick. So I don't want to sit up in here that black women are over here that black women are being objectified when black women are objectifying themselves, when black women are putting themselves in a deadly situation. So that's why I say it is not the black man's responsibility to protect a black woman who continue to make piss poor decisions. It is not his job to protect that. If you want to continue to go out here and to do stupid stuff, then you're going to win stupid prizes. There was a chick here in Chicago. Her name was Escobar. She was 21 years old or something like that, and she was 7 months pregnant. She tried to rob somebody, and somebody deleted her and put her body out in the middle of the intersection and threw money all over her body. The baby didn't survive as well. Now, see, this is what we got going on here. So black women are over here misbehaving on so many levels, which is very ridiculous. And I'm so sick and yet so tired of seeing black women behaving this way. I will never forget when I was growing up, and I asked a friend of mine who was a lot older, because a lot of my friends growing up, they was older women, and I have asked, I've asked, when did women lose their dignity? I wanted to know what was the era that women started to lose their dignity, because back in the 60s on back, black women they was dignified. The way how they was dressing, even going to the beach, they looked dignified. They had on beach wear that was dignified. They had clothing that was dignified. They made sure that they was a virtuous woman. They did not go around showing their breasts. They did not go around showing their rear. They did not go around wearing tight clothes or anything like that. They did not do any of those things. They looked sexy, and they saved some for the imagination. There's nothing wrong. If you want to look sexy, fine, whatever. But you don't want to show everything. That's being a 304. when you're showing everything with thinking that it is sexy, that is being a 304. You're not being sexy. You're being trash. That is exactly what you are. You're being trash. You're looking like trash and you acting like trash. Your behavior is a gutter rat, a New York gutter rat. That is what your behavior is. Your stance, everything that you stand upon is gutterish. So you see, this is the reason why, again, going back to Ciara and her husband, this is the reason why people always get at her husband, because her husband married a sewage New York rat. That is exactly what he married. And he should have known better not to marry her. And I'm pretty sure that the family is probably disgusted at seeing how his wife is out here looking like a 304 Stragg. She is looking like a Stragg out here in these streets. And you are at an award show. You're supposed to be dignified. You're not supposed to be going there looking like you're about to walk the streets or look like an escort. You're not supposed to be dressing like that. You're somebody's wife. You're somebody's mother. You are a mother. That is not how a mother is supposed to behave. That is not how a mother is supposed to dress. A mother can be sexy. A mother can look sexy. But when it comes to certain clothes, that's supposed to be preserved for your husband, that you only wear in front of your husband. You do not walk down the street wearing clothes and that makes you look like a woman of the night. You just don't do that. You don't do that at all. Whatever happened to having self-respect? You're supposed to have self-respect for yourself so that you do not go out here making yourself look like something that you're not, or at least that you shouldn't be. But see, when you have the whorehouse culture, which is what we're living in, we see that you cannot tell these females anything. That's the reason why they all applaud each other, because they're nothing but 304s. 304s are going to protect and stand up for another 304. Which is very pathetic. And the reason why it's so many of them is because these girls seen their mothers behave as a 304. These girls are seeing the different amount of men that's coming inside of their apartment, probably hearing their mother while she's getting while she's having relations, being loud about it. And the girl, she just ruined. The little girl is ruined. So and in her mind, she's going to think that is the behavior, that is the action, and that is the way how she should be raised. That's why you have these girls having these little kids at the age of 15 on up. I'll never forget when I was in 5th grade, there was this girl, she was 11 years old, and she had her first child. Her and her mother made it so bad. Her and her mother was competing with how many kids that they can have so that they can have the best baby shower. I kid you not. At that age, I was 10 years old. I was like, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even start my womanhood until I was the age of 11. So at that time, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what sex was about. I didn't even know that. But these girls out here, like I said, they are very fast because of the environment that they are living in and because of this Jezebel spirit that they are seeing each and every single day. It is very deadly to our black community. This is the reason why our children, they can barely know how to read. They can barely know how to do your math. They can barely do any of those things, but they know how to behave in destructive behaviors. They know how to be destructive because that is what they see on a daily basis. Most of them live in a single mother household because their mothers don't even have the right mindset on how to be a mother, on how to be a parent, because there was a incident not too long ago about a woman who left her 3 children alone for 2 months while she was staying with a dude in Alabama. Now, see, her mother knew that she was staying with this dude in Alabama because she kept seeing her. Now, black woman was over here talking about she was missing. No, that black woman was in hiding because she knew that she was wrong for leaving them kids at home by themselves for 2 whole months just to lay up with a pookie. And it wasn't the first time that she did that. It was not the first time that that woman did that. And then when they arrested her, she was laughing. But see, all the while she was in hiding, she was posting up on social media while her makeup on, with her hair weave looking nice. She was doing all of those things while those kids was at home by themselves. By themselves. This is the type of environment that our children have to grow up under, because they have such horrible, piss poor parents. Or should I just say parent, singular, because they basically just have their mother. The father, who knows where he's at? He could be either in jail or he can be dead. We just don't know. We just don't know half the time. So I mean, going back to Ciara, what I saw was very despicable. It was very deplorable. It was very disgusting. It was very something that a wife should not wear when she is out and about with her husband, because you're not honoring your husband. You're being disrespectful to your husband. You're letting your husband know that I don't respect you at all, because if you respected your husband, you would make sure that you would be wearing dignified clothing. You can still look good. They're called mermaid dresses that shows your figure, but you can cover it up. You could cover that mess up. You do not need to show your bare behind to the world. No one needs to see that. The only person who needs to see that is your husband alone. That's the only person that's supposed to be seeing that. If you're single, nobody's supposed to be seeing that unless you're looking. The only time that you supposed to be showing that is when you are with your man, when you are with your husband. That is it. When you are single, you should not be wearing provocative clothing out here that makes you look like a woman of the night. You're not supposed to be dressing in or behaving in that type of manner. And it's very despicable as to the behavior that our black women are showing these days. It really is sad and very despicable, because I am so sick and yet so tired of these Jezebels. I am so sick and yet so tired of the 3 or 4 Straggs. They all have a nasty attitude. You can't tell them anything. And then if you do let them know something, then they ready to fight you. Instead of having a conversation with you, they ready to act like a child when it comes to dealing with these 3 or 4 Straggs. They don't grow up. That's why they be in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, still behaving like a child. See, maturity does not come with age. Maturity is wisdom. You could have someone who's in their 20s and they very mature because of their wisdom, what they say, the way how they think, and the way how they talk, and the way how they move. So when you have someone that is older talking about respect your elders, no, because you have elders out here that don't respect themselves. Now, we saw at the Oscars, Angela Bassett, she looked very sexy, but she was covered up. Because why? She takes pride in herself and she has dignity. She is dignified. Plus she is a mother and she is a wife. And she knows she is not going to be walking down the street at her age of being 64 years old, at her age, looking like someone, a woman of the night. She is not going to be dressing or looking like that because she respects herself. It's all about respecting yourself and dignifying yourself. If you do not respect yourself, how in the world can you ask somebody else to respect you? It does not work like that at all. You cannot ask or demand for respect when you do not respect yourself. So you shouldn't even be sitting up asking for that. I just had to come on here and to say something because it was appalling, it was disgusting, and it's downright shameful. That Ciara should be ashamed of herself. And more black women should be talking about it, because whenever a black man talks about it, that black man, he is being jumped upon. That should not be. A black man should be able to say this is the type of negative behavior that should not be having within our black community. We should not be having this type of behavior, and this should not be accepted. But I fear that too many of our little girls are going to end up growing up being like the Ciaras, being like the Jezebel of the world, which black women need to understand something. You are the least sought after woman. You are the least sought after woman to being married. Every other group of women are highly sought after. That's the reason why black women be trying to make themselves look Hispanic. by wearing the weaves, by bleaching their skin, and all those other type of stuff, by giving themselves some Latina name or some Asian name. That's what they try to do because they want to be somebody else that is desired. Those are the type of women are highly desired. Black women are not highly desired. They're not. And everybody will sit up and tell you black women have a nasty attitude. See, you can't tell black women anything. And then if you try to tell her something that is going to benefit her, then she thinks that you are bashing her. She thinks that you are going up against her when you are not. You're just trying to let her know that the path that you're on is very destructive and you need to change that. But she don't even want to hear that. She only over here just thinking that you're just being mean to her, being rude to her, and trying to stop her so-called growth or trying to find herself or whatever the case may be. That's why you always hear them say, I need to speak my truth. When they say I need to speak my truth, you're hearing nothing but BS that's about to come behind it. That's the only thing that you're about to hear. I mean, it really is very disgusting the way how black women have become and how they have behaved over the decades. They are raising our children to be dysfunctional. Black women are raising children to be dysfunctional just like them because they are dysfunctional. More than 70%, I believe it's 70 or 74% of our black women are not properly diagnosed mentally. They need to be seeing a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a therapist. That's who they need to be seeing and talking to on a daily basis, need to be taking medication for their mental health. But you can't tell black women that. That's why when you hear a black woman sit up and say, oh, I need somebody to tame me, I didn't know that you was a wild animal. I didn't know that you was a wild animal and that man is supposed to be sitting up here trying to fight a wild animal. No, you're supposed to be a dignified, upstanding woman. That's what you're supposed to be. But you're not. Because you had a piss poor of example at home. Your mother did not set the best example, and you probably have a grandmother that's probably just as young as your mother is because she had her daughter at the age of 14 or 15. So you don't have great examples at home as to how a woman is supposed to be dignified. But then when a woman who is dignified come across your way, then you want to sit up and talk about her, calling her a pick me and all that other type of stuff. Which is very wrong, and it's very sad that it just goes to show you how black woman mindset is in the gutter. The way how they view themselves is in the gutter. That is exactly what we're dealing with today. So I just had to step on here and to give my spiel about this because I thought it was so grotesque and I thought it was very disrespectful to her husband. Her husband is being disrespected on national television each and every day when Ciara steps out the house. I'm pretty sure that he probably talked to her and asked her not to wear that outfit, but she probably gave him an attitude. But I'm just saying that he probably thought she looked good and she could come out. And if he did think that way, then his mind is truly gone. His mind is truly gone and he really needs help. His family needs to step in and help him. But I wouldn't be surprised if his family tried to and he probably just gave them all type of attitudes because he seems to be that type of guy, all because he wants to keep Ciara happy instead of making himself happy. Ciara has children. She's supposed to be their role model. The way how she's behaving, that's not being a role model. She's being a 304 Stragg, a Jezebel.